Right. Good evening, everyone. I'm starting just a minute or so early so that I can get it shared. So if you could bear with me for just a minute, and then I'll go ahead and get started. All right, got a couple people on. So how are y'all doing? My name is Dan Whitfield. I'm the independent candidate running for United States Senate here in Arkansas. I like to do these weekly updates and Q&As so that we can kind of keep in touch with what's been going on, what we're going to be doing, in the near future and so on. I did not do one last week. I just wasn't feeling very well and we didn't have really too much to update on. I've got a bunch of different things I'm working on behind the scenes. So I do have a little bit of information with the things that we have been working on, where we're at and where we're going to go from here. So give me just another minute or so to get this shared and started. And we will be good to go. So throughout this all right. Throughout this different update live stream Q&A that I'm doing, feel free to ask any questions you have, and I'll answer any questions you all have live. And then if you all have questions afterwards, you can always send me a message, and I'll go ahead and I'll answer them then. Oh, hey, Rick, how are you doing? Washington County. Yeah, you guys are popping with the Morels right now. So a couple people are filing in. All right, fill up fast. Cool beans. So I'll start over real quick. My name is Dan Whitfield. I'm the independent candidate running for United States Senate here in Arkansas. We have some things to actually talk about that I'm able to update y'all with this week, which is nice because last week we didn't have any big updates. So the first thing I want to talk about is signature collection. Right now, signature collection is our main focus. I've put all of my events on hold. Here, let me actually move this over a little bit. So I went ahead and put all of my events on hold due to the COVID-19 pandemic that we're facing, because we want to make sure that public safety is, the main priority, what's most important. Because of that, it's really halted our signature collection process. I had canceled over a dozen events. I stopped scheduling new events. We went from having, a big crowd of people, willing to sign to not having those people around at all. Everyone's kind of self-quarantining at this point. So as of right now, in hand, I have about 4,484 signatures. And that's what I have in hand. That's not what I have volunteers who still have sheets who haven't turned them in. That's not counting anything like that. So we are about 44% to where we need to be. We need 10,000 verified signatures in order to gain ballot access. And because they have to be 10,000 verified signatures, we are expecting them to throw out at least half of them. So, our original goal was 17,500. We're a little ways behind. Let me go ahead and plug this in here as well real quick. Might be a little more clear. So we are a little bit behind and we have some catch up to do. Let's see. So due to the COVID pandemic, we've lost about 60% of our signature collection time. 60% of our time to collect signatures has been altered by social distancing. So it's really making it difficult for us. What we're trying to do about that is we're trying to get an extension to the deadline for our ballot access petition. As far as that goes, I have sent a letter to the Secretary of State, John Thurston. I sent a letter to Governor Asa Hutchinson, and I waited 2 weeks and 3 weeks. Whoa, it was 3 weeks. Oh my gosh. So we waited 3 weeks before I finally reached back out to them, and then I was able to get a hold of Peyton, who's the assistant of John Thurston, who informed me that the Secretary of State does not have the authority to do something like that here in Arkansas. So, guess he doesn't have very much authority. What he told me to do was Peyton said that I need to contact my state legislators, and that the state legislators are the only ones who can grant an extension, and they have to vote on it in session. So right now they're working on their fiscal policies, so they won't even talk about it. Go figure. So our next resort is we need to get Governor Asa Hutchinson to hold a special meeting, and through that special session, have the state legislators vote on it. Now, I've talked to several different legislators one-on-one, and we have their support. You know, they totally agree that this is a very reasonable thing. They want to help it get it passed. We just don't know if they're even going to have the option to vote on the signature extension, issue that we're facing right now. So we're trying to figure out what to do about that. Our main goal, because it's such a gray area and we're not getting any help at all pretty much from anybody, is we still want to hit our 10,000 signatures if possible. So we need to keep going for that 10,000 signature goal. Let's see here. So real quick, a couple other things. Florida, because I'm not the only independent candidate. And in Florida, Republicans and Democrats, as well as independents, have to collect signatures to get ballot access. So in Florida, the Secretary of State has authorized online petitions. So in the state of Florida, they can go online and sign a petition sheet. So I think it's more than reasonable that we should be able to do something similar here in Arkansas. I guess the Florida Secretary of State has more authority than John Thurston. I don't know. We'll figure something out with that. Maryland has waived for some different groups the entire petition collection process. They've granted extensions. Maryland is really working with their different candidates, helping them get ballot access right now. Michigan, the governor of Michigan is reviewing options because he has the power in his state to grant extensions. And he said that he's committed to helping their candidates get ballot access. He just hasn't reviewed all of his options yet. Massachusetts governor, I guess he's kind of a harder guy. He said that what candidates should do is get a single fresh piece of paper and have someone sign it with a brand new fresh pen, and use a new piece of paper and a new pen for every signature. With 10,000 signatures or 17,000, it gets very expensive and hard. And trying to get all that kind of, all those supplies distributed, that's a whole different issue as well. So, we'll try to focus right now on mailing in. The main way for us to get signatures right now is to go to replacetomcotton.com and click on campaign, and then there's a signature form. So from this tab, it'll show you right on top. It has some instructions, and then you can download the form. You can print it yourself on legal size paper. If you don't have access to print on legal size paper at home with your own printer, you can go to Staples or Office Depot, Kinko's, and they'll all print it straight from your phone from that website for 17 cents a page. So it's not that expensive. And if you print your own, you can sign it. You can have your friends and family sign it, and then mail it on into my P.O. box. And all those instructions are there on my website. If that's too much work for you, I understand. We're all busy. We're all trying to stay home and stay away, from going out to different businesses for non-essential reasons. Right underneath that, you can actually enter in your name and your address and how many sheets you want, and I will mail you sheets. So I'm trying to make it as easy as possible for y'all. All you have to do is just go to replacetomcotton.com, campaign, and signature form, and you can download your own form and print it, or you can request for me to mail you one out. I got 47 requests in one day, the day before yesterday. So it's going really well. People are really interested. I'm trying to make it as easy as possible for y'all to get your signature in and keep your families, safe and healthy at the same time. Uh, some ways that you can help. So we need to make as much noise as possible. It is extremely reasonable for us to ask for a signature collection extension, uh, and people just aren't listening. They're not hearing us. So we need to be loud. We need to make some noise. On that same page, if you go to replacetomcotton.com, click on campaign and then signature form, right below the mail-in request form, I've added a section where you can click a button and it will take you straight to your state representative's map. So it brings you to a map of Arkansas. You just click your the area you live in, and it'll pull up your representative's info. You can see their phone number, their email, their mailing address. Call your state representatives. Ask them for an extension for independent candidates to, collect signatures for ballot access. Ask your reps, give them a call, send them a letter, send them an email, do all three. We need to make some noise and make sure that our legislators know we want to have more options. That part of the democratic process in America is to be able to have people on the ballot to vote for them or not vote for them. So call your state reps. And right below that, I added the contact info for the governor. So you can just click that link right below. It'll take you right to Governor Asa Hutchinson's contact form, and you can send him a letter right there too. So contact your state rep, contact Governor Hutchinson, ask for an extension for the deadline for signature collection for independent candidates. It's more than reasonable with the worldwide pandemic, national and state emergencies we're facing, where there's actually only 5 states that are not on lockdown right now. Oh, thank you. And we're one of those 5 that aren't on lockdown. So it is a very reasonable thing, and we do need that help right now. So if you have just a couple minutes, reach out, and that'd be very helpful. Let's see here. So I'm going to continue mailing out forms. I'm trying not to go out of my house as often as possible, so I'll be going to the post office 2 times a week to check my P.O. box and mail out new envelopes with signature forms inside them. So if you request a form, please give me just a couple of days to get that out to you. I'll get it sent as soon as possible. What I'm asking from y'all is when you do get these signature sheets, just mail them back at the latest by around April 20th. That way they can get through the mail, get to me, I can get them on counted and get them verified and get them in our list that we can turn in on May 1st at the Capitol. So we are about 26 days left of our signature collection process. We're almost there. We're in the home stretch. So we need to make sure that we're sharing this link or the link with the signature collection form and the request by mail one. That way we can get these forms out to people to get them signed and returned. Let's see. And what I'm going to also do is I will be contacting a campaign lawyer, a political lawyer, on Monday, and I'm going to see what our legal options are. I've had people suggest different things. So we are going to kind of put our feelers out there and see if we do have other options to help our campaign get ballot access. But that's pretty much it for where we're at with signature collection and what we've been doing. 26 more days. It's coming up real fast. So if you do still have sheets, get them mailed to me. I really appreciate all your guys' help. Your support's been amazing. If you are in different Arkansas groups, make sure to share our posts that talk about signature collection. That way, especially Arkansans Against Tom Cotton. That's a really popular one right now. Share my post in there because it's amazing. I'm still getting people messaging me every day who have been in this group for a year, and they're like, I've never heard about your campaign. And, then I can send them out a sheet and get their signature as well. It's just the way Facebook algorithms work. Okay, so I do have quite a few different questions coming in. I'm going to start going through those before I talk a little bit about COVID-19 and then do a recap on signature collection. Let's see here. Is social distancing hampering the signatures? Mr. Rick, absolutely. It has slowed us down tremendously. Excuse me. I went from having, I got 500 signatures one week in person, and then the next week, all of the COVID-19 pandemic really started to blow up, and we had to cancel. I had 4 different events that next week, just myself. And then I had volunteers in different parts of the state, Fort Smith, Eureka Springs, Fayetteville, getting ready to, and Little Rock, getting ready to go to the St. Patrick's Day parades. And those were going to be really big, signature collection days. So as well as with 420 coming up, I do support the federal decriminalization of cannabis, including nationally expunging cannabis-related crimes. And 420 was going to be a huge collection day as well. I was planning to get at least several thousand on the 20th of April, just before the deadline. And it's looking like we're not going to be able to do that at this point. So that's a big bummer. But yeah, it really has hampered our collection. Any luck in getting the deadline extended? No, sir. Not yet. We're going to, expect the worst, that we're not going to get an extension, but we're going to keep trying however we can. And in order to get that, we need to have people call their legislators, call the governor, send them letters, send them emails, bug these people, make some noise. Because if the Secretary of State does not have authority to do it, then the governor does. And if we can make ourselves heard and, we can get some kind of extension, even if, there's 3 other options. There are 3 options total. They can either extend the deadline, or they can give us permission to collect signatures online, or they could reduce the amount of signatures required for ballot access. Since we lost about 60% of our collection time, I was thinking if they would reduce our amount by 60%, require 4,000 signatures turned in, that should be very reasonable. Let's see here. What is your current average donation to your campaign? If I donate $5, how far below average am I? So let's see here. If I go to DonorBox right now, I'll give me just a second to log in. Oh, I'm not a robot. Oh, crosswalks. All right. Crosswalks. There we go. All right, so right now on DonorBox, my average donation is $31.60. That is my average. So you're just a little bit below average, but that's totally cool. It's not a problem at all. Just donate whatever you can afford if you can. Right now, I'm spending most of my donations on social media advertising. I'm boosting posts about signature collections. That way, people all around the state can hear about our campaign and get access to those links to the signature forms. And I've been getting a lot mailed in that way as well. And it's just amazing because when I boost a post on social media about something like Replace Tom Cotton, the one that I share often, when I do something like that, it's just amazing how much positive feedback we're getting from these posts. I can have like maybe 500 likes and loves and only like 30 or maybe 40 angry faces or sad faces, So the amount of support from all around the state's really positive. Of course, there's going to be some haters out there, but, just we got to help everybody. Let's see here. If you need help mailing, give me the addresses. Thank you so much, Susan. It's so much work, Susan, trying to get all these envelopes out. I apologize for anybody who requested one recently. My daughter helped me do them last time, so I had her paste in names and labels onto the folders, and some of them were kind of crooked and stuff, but she wanted to help, so, it was a lot of fun. But yeah, thank you so much. What I'll do is, if it gets to the point where it's more than like 50 a day, the requests that I'm getting, then I'll ask, I'll see if you can help, and I'll just send you the names and addresses. It's just I already have the folders and I already have the pages printed out, so it's a little bit easier for me to do myself. But yeah, if it gets harder, I'll definitely contact you, Susan. Thank you. And I know you've already turned in so many. Thank you so much for all of your hard work and all of your support. It's awesome. Hate to shake you, but not 26 days, but 16 days for supporters to get signatures to you. Oh yeah, so it is 16 days. Get your signatures to me in about 16 days. 26 days is April 30th, and I'm gonna leave the night of April 30th to make sure I am at the Capitol on May 1st, so that we don't have any issues like that, because it's gonna be a Friday. And honestly, I'm also I'm not sure how it's gonna work yet, because technically the Capitol is closed to non-essential business. So hopefully turning in signature sheets will be an essential business, and I'll have permission to go in there and do that. But we'll see what happens as it gets closer. I'll give them a call probably on Monday as well, just to make sure that I can get them turned in. Think about that. Let's see here. Can print. Thank you, Susan. Don't read this. Oh, gotcha. What about a newspaper ad? So I have thought about newspaper ads. We can start doing that. It's just so much easier when I do social media ads, because in a newspaper ad, I can put, go to replacetomcotton.com and do this and do this. But people are not nearly as receptive to something like that. If I do a social media advertisement for the same amount of cost, I can reach just as many people. And then instead of saying, go here and do this, I can just put click. And then all they have to do is just click. And, a lot of people, we're lazy. We like to do things as easy as possible. So I think that's just the most efficient way to do it right now to reach the most amount of people. Let's see here. All right. So I think I'm caught up on there. I know Facebook doesn't always show me all the comments coming through. So right now, COVID-19, that's the pandemic that we're facing. So a few numbers for y'all. Here in Arkansas, we are at 743 confirmed cases. I have people messaging me all the time saying, I don't feel really good, so I've been staying at home. I went out to get tested and they won't test me. So there are a lot of people who could possibly have it who aren't being tested, not because they don't want to get tested, but because they're not being tested when they're trying to request it. So we have at least 743 cases of COVID in Arkansas, and they have led to 12 deaths. We are behind the national average, but we also started 2 weeks after the rest of the country really started. So we're going to hit our peak later than everybody else as well. So we do need to, keep on social distancing. So right now, Trump said social distancing is going to stay in place until about April 30th. Here in Arkansas, Asa Hutchinson said we're going to stop on April 17th. So it'll be a couple weeks earlier here in Arkansas. And his reasoning for that is because everybody's social distancing really well and, listening to the different things we're telling them to do. Or, as a matter of fact, that's not really true. I'm sure anybody who's gone out to the store right now or recently has seen people aren't social distancing. We've still got stores that are packed. We still have people, if you're standing in line at the grocery store, they'll just walk up right up next to you. You can almost feel them breathing on the back of your neck, taste the corona in the air. If driving down the road, you can see parks. People are still at parks in big groups. We really need to take social distancing more seriously. I see these posts all the time of, well, it's only a 1% death rate, so we'll all be okay. But you know what? Think about when you say 1%, what if that's your grandma? What if that's your newborn little one or your niece or your nephew? You never know who it's going to be, and it's never okay for anybody to die needlessly when it could be prevented for something so simple as just staying 6 feet away from people. So right now there are currently 5 states that are not under stay-at-home orders. Arkansas is one of them. We haven't closed really all of our non-essential businesses. You can still go out and go shopping or go to the park or whatever. I know there are people still who, before today, we had people coming from out of state going to campgrounds and things like that. But as of today, a few hours ago, I believe, Asa Hutchinson did ban out of state people coming in from people from coming out of state and lodging in our state, camping in hotels and stuff like that. So hopefully that will help as well from bringing outside cases of the coronavirus into our state. But yeah, so what we need to do is, in my opinion, we need to expand the school closures. We're not ready to open back our schools to put our children back around other children that could possibly be infected at this point. We should at least keep our children out of school until April 30th and stay with what our federal government suggested we do. I'm not part of the CDC. I don't work for the CDC, but they're a lot smarter than I am, and that's their profession and their expertise and job. I think it's a good idea to, follow their suggestions. These stay-at-home orders, I think we really need to add that here into Arkansas as well. We haven't hit our peak yet. And the longer that we have people ignoring these social distancing policies and going out there doing things that they don't, that aren't essential, we're gonna raise our peak, and we may raise it by a lot if we're not careful. Another thing that I think we really need to look at right now too, as we just had 10 million people lose their jobs, the CARES Act, it was something. It was better than nothing, and that's the only reason it got passed, is because it was better than nothing. But now we need something better. We need a new stimulus that's going to put money in Americans' pockets. Businesses are fine. They can get their small loans that they don't have to pay back as long as it goes towards past interest and payroll and things like that. But what we need to worry about now, or we need to worry about the working class Americans. We need to make sure that the unemployed people, that non-tax filers, that the elderly, self-employed people are able to get a stimulus relief. We're looking at losing so many small businesses right now, and so many people losing everything they have. What we need is $2,000 a month a person for the next 3 months here in America. If other countries can do this, we can do it too. Canada, for $84 billion, just gave every Canadian citizen $2,000 a month for the next 4 months so they can stay at home, stay safe, and pay their bills, take care of their families. If we can afford to give businesses trillions of dollars of free cash, basically, they say low interest loans, but realistically, as long as they look at the fine print on those loans and put the loans where they're told to put them, they don't have to pay that money back. We need to make sure that Americans get stimulus and we get the relief that we need. The CARES Act should have been called the Business CARES Act or CARES for Business Act, and we need to have a separate stimulus that's going to work for us, the people. And that's kind of where we're at with COVID. Hopefully things are going to start to get better here soon. Just, if you feel sick, don't leave the house. If you feel sick and you might be asymptomatic, or if you are symptomatic, wear a mask before you go out, because that's going to help you preventing the spread. That's when masks are really important, are people who are infected with the virus, preventing getting other people infected. But that's where we're at with COVID. So a recap real quick, just kind of where we're at. We're only about 25 minutes into, 1% of 3 million Arkansans, 30,000 people. Absolutely. That's disgusting that anyone could just dismiss, oh, it's only going to be 30,000 people that die. That's okay. It's not okay. So we're only about 25 minutes in right now. I'm going to do a quick recap on our signature collection that I went over just a few minutes ago. And after I do a quick recap, I'll read through, see if there are any other questions to answer. And then after I answer any other questions, we'll go ahead and end it. I have a Harry Potter night scheduled with my family. We're going to watch at least 5 and 6. Maybe I can get the Deathly Hallows started too. Let's see here. So let me refresh this. So signature collection. I have 4,484 signatures in my hands right now. So we're about 44% of where we need to be at the minimum. We're getting there, but we still need a lot of help. Make sure you go to replacetomcotton.com. You go to the campaign tab and click signature form. And from that tab, you can download the form and you can print it. After you print it, you can sign it, have your friends and family sign it, and then you can mail it back to our P.O. Box. All the instructions are there. If you don't have the ability to print on legal size paper, you can go to Staples, FedEx, Kinko's, and they'll print out the sheets for you for 17 cents a sheet. If you want to stay at home, you don't have access to print legal size paper, but you want to get your signature in because you want to replace Tom Cotton, because he is not a representative that represents us. If you really want to help, then right below the download form area, there's a new section, and you can actually put your name, your email, your address, how many sheets you want, and it will send me an email with your info, and I will mail you out sheets. Okay, I'll mail them to you. I'll send them right to your house. All you got to do is take it out of the mail, sign it, and put it back in the mail towards me. So we're trying to make this as easy as possible for y'all. And then just below that, there's a new area as well to contact your state representative. If you click that button, it'll pull up a map, and you can actually see, just click the area you live in, who your representative is, what their email is, what their phone number, their address. Call your state representatives and ask your state representative, to grant an extension to independent candidates, petitioning for ballot access. Or waive it. What harm is it? I have almost 5,000 signatures from people in my hand right now. It's not like we don't have support. The support's there. It's just with this pandemic and the social distancing, we have uncontrollable circumstances that have made it extremely difficult and near impossible to continue this process. If they waive it, that would be great. Ask them if we can do virtual signing and have an online petition where people can go online and do it so that we can do it from the safety of our own homes. There are a few different options. Give out options to your state legislators. Get them thinking. Get them, understanding that we have the support that we need to get my name on the ballot. We've got to have my name on the ballot. If we get our campaign ballot access, we're going to beat Tom Cotton in November. It's going to happen. We have to get it done.
I think waive it or online.
Yeah,
the actual is never gonna work because
even if they extend it, it could still be. People will be in their homes for another month or 2 or 3 or 4 months. So yeah, if they can waive it, that'd be great. Online petitioning is wonderful. Other states have done both of these things, so it's not unreasonable. We just have to make some noise. Let's see. But I guess that's pretty much where we're at right now. We need your signature. We need you to share my posts about getting signatures done. Get people to request a form and I'll mail it out to them. I'll make it as easy as possible. I do have some more comments in here. Let's see. It's what I asked for when I emailed the governor. Awesome. Thank you, Susan. And how many other independent candidates are needing signatures to get on the ballot in Arkansas? Oh my goodness. I have it on my phone, unfortunately. Oh, actually, I think I can pull it up right here. If I click this button. Where's my Team Arkansas tab? There it is. So right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have eight other independents in the state of Arkansas collecting signatures right now to get ballot access. I'm going to work on reaching out to them and see if we can do something. If I have to contact a lawyer, maybe we can do a class action to get ourselves a reasonable extension or a reasonable solution to the problems we're facing. I noticed something really odd when I was going through there, by the way. In District 40, there's an independent, David Dugan, running. And in District 40, there's also an Allison Dugan running. So I guess 2 family members are running against each other for District 40. How interesting is that? But yeah, so it's all really interesting, everything that's going on. We're in unprecedented times right now. But what we have to keep in mind and what's most important is public safety. We can't be, especially, my volunteers, y'all are the most wonderful people. I don't want y'all putting yourselves at risk. Please don't, and let's try to get this done as safely as possible. I can deliver the sheets to save time if they're in Springdale. Oh, thank you, Susan. Yeah, you're so awesome. I can always meet you. If you're just like in Springdale or Fayetteville or in Northwest Arkansas area, I can meet you as well, and we can have a 6-foot exchange. Let's see here. Got all these electronic devices all around me. Okay, so yes, that's where we are. On the brighter side of things, right now is morel season. I'm super excited. I love morel season. Let's see here. Yeah, they're almost dried out now. Let's see. So I went out and I got 3 in my backyard. 2 days ago, so I was super excited. They're just starting to come up, and these were a lot bigger. They're just drying out. But morel season's here, so it is something to look forward to. One of the great things about morel season is now we can practice our social distancing while getting out and going into the forest. Go out, take a walk. The weather is going to be beautiful these next couple of days. Spend some time with your family. Look at the flowers. Everything's so nice. This is my favorite time of year because everything's just so gray and dull in the winter, and now everything starts to liven up. It's wonderful. But, so go out and find some morels. But yeah, so that's where we're at with signature collection and COVID-19. If you all have any other questions, I'll stay on for like another couple minutes, and I'll answer any questions y'all have. And then if you have questions later, you can always send me a message. I always answer all my own stuff. I manage my own social media. I answer emails. I answer phone calls, text messages, everything. So if you have any questions, just let me know. That's why I'm here. Let me check some of this other stuff. So our website is replacetomcotton.com. It is super easy to remember. Make sure you're telling people about it. I do have a campaign store on there. You can always go, let me see, make sure this is still working. Shop. Awesome. So if you go to replacetomcotton.com and click on shop, we do have bumper stickers. I do have car magnets, and the car magnets are about the size of a sheet of paper. They look really cool. I give them out sometimes as rewards and stuff, or I guess not rewards, as prizes for people who collect a lot of signatures. Like if someone sends me 200 signatures in the mail, I usually respond by sending them a bumper sticker and a magnet. And there's just some stuff on there. I did lower the shipping costs down to $3. So instead of sending it priority mail, I'm just sending it first class. You don't get a tracking number or anything, but it is a little bit cheaper for y'all. So make sure you check that stuff out. It's all really cool. I guess that's pretty much where we're at right now. I don't know if anyone has any other questions. Let me check these out. I don't see any other questions. I got 9 of you on right now, so it's probably, everyone's hopping off. But yeah, thank you guys so much for taking this evening to hang out with me and hear about our updates. Y'all are the greatest. If you guys have questions, let me know. Just stay safe. Stay at home. Make sure that you've got enough food to last you at least 2 weeks in your house. Don't buy too much toilet paper. Save some for the rest of us. Like to see you have another interview, but of course... So let's see here. I can do more interviews. I didn't even mention, I did an AMA on r/politics last week. It was awesome. Oh my gosh. I was there for 10 hours straight answering questions live. So I answered a whole bunch of questions. People will ask me different policy questions. So you can get to know kind of who I am and what my responses are by going to that AMA. If you go to replacetomcotton.com, click on About, and then click on Media. You can see, I think I put it as my first link right up there. AMA on Reddit Politics, and you can check that out. The cool thing about our politics is it's a huge group. There are 5.9 million people in this group. It got 95% positive votes on it, so that's phenomenal. 95% upvote. It went really well. So take some time, check out that AMA. You can get to see my policy stance and how I respond to questions easily that way as well. And I don't think there's anything else. Can you think of anything? All right. But I'm only at 36 minutes. It's such a short live stream this time. Cool beans, y'all. Well, thank you again so much for coming. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Stay safe. You guys are amazing. Make sure you're telling people about our signature collection because we have, 26 days at the very latest to finish our signature process. Call your legislators, call the governor, make some noise. Let's be heard. Let's make them know we're not going away. We want ballot access, that it's not up to them to determine who we get to vote for. It's up to us. That's what's important. But thank you all. Have a good night, and may God bless you guys, and may God bless America.